Hello, everyone. For those of you that are here, we'll just give it one more minute to see who else signs on so that we can all be on the same page. If you are dialing in, make sure you hang up and click on the link to log in through your laptop. You will need a laptop or a PC so that you can see everything that I'm doing on my screen. This isn't just a meeting to discuss content. I actually go over some processes on how to add content. So just make sure that you, if you're dialing over the phone, hang up and try doing it with a laptop or a PC. And in about a minute, we will start. Okay, so let's begin. So to log in, make sure that you type in the URL, which is http://dcps.duvalschools.org. And it's slash admin, but I have already hit enter. So I'm going to type it here on the message board for those of you that do not have it. So we're going to go ahead and log in. Now notice how, I know most of you have noticed that we have a new template for the district as well as for the school sites. The district one is still very much it's not live yet, so we are still working on that. However, the school sites are live. You should have your new template, and I've sent numerous emails in regards to your new template. There is one thing that changed. You will continue to log in the same way. However, to find Site Manager, because I know many of you weren't able to find it ever since we switched to the new template. If you scroll down, you should be able to see it at the footer of your page. So towards the bottom of the page, there should be an option for Site Manager. So go ahead and click there for now. Today I'm going to be working on a couple of schools. But the first one that I wanted to show you, and I'm sure some of you've probably seen or compared some school sites. But as I was checking, I noticed Hyde Park had some of the template suggestions that we're looking for. So I'm just going to click here on View Website just to kind of go through an overview of what the expectations are and what today's training will cover. So in regards to font, we are trying to keep the same font within all schools. So just you can use some of the basics. Just do not use that Comic Sans or anything that's not readable. We prefer Verdana or Times New Roman. Some of the more simple font. Remember, this is a website. If you want to have, interactive font or just more creative, you can always have that in a PDF and link that to the website. But as a website, you should always have just the most basic font so that it makes it easy and readable for everyone. So on that subject, make sure that you have all your fonts similar because sometimes I've seen some schools, and remember we are doing audits, so I am able to see every school. Sometimes, for instance, Arrival and Dismissal has this font, but then if I go under academic programs, see, I like the difference with Hyde Park is that I've noticed that they've kept the same font within all pages, but sometimes I've seen that this font will be completely different in other schools. So you just want to make sure that all your font is the same, and it doesn't really take you that long to change the font. All you have to do is just highlight it and make sure that it's all the same. Going back here to the front page, since we're there, I know there's been several emails that have been sent to all of you in regards to either expectations or whether it's from your principal, from me, or from the regional chiefs. So here's what we're looking for. Basically, you have your new slideshow, so you want to make sure that you have interactive pictures of your school. So some of you I know have pictures of your school building. You can have pictures of students, just some pictures that are high resolution and that can relate to your school. Also, upcoming events. This is being generated from your calendar. So make sure that you keep that calendar updated. Otherwise, this whole section will be blank and you probably will get an email from either me or someone else noting that that there's some content there that needs to be created. Moving on to the welcome message. Preferably, welcome should just be a small text about your school. Pictures should not be necessarily in this area because you have this huge area here for a slideshow that can take place for that. Instead, what you can do is just, again, just have some text. You can even note to view your gallery because, I mean, it is kind of pointless to put them, duplicate pictures in the same page. So instead, if you still want to have a logo or something small, preferably make that a very small image just so that it doesn't take attention from here. Otherwise, your website starts getting very busy on the front page. Since we're in this section here, I also wanted to point out that this is a video that we put in for everyone. You can always replace the video. However, for those detailed instructions, please contact me or I could do that process for you if you have your specific video that you would like to replace. For those of you that don't, this is generally what you'll see on your front page. Doesn't mean you can't change it. It just means that you would still have to contact me to change it. It does have to be a specific size because the width for this area does not allow for a video that's much bigger. Plus, it does not look good on your front page because it starts taking over this space here. So just make sure that you contact me if you have your own video. Moving on to announcements, and we will cover every single part of this process today. But this is just a quick overview. Announcements, you can have maybe up to 4, I would say, on your front page. You can always create a page that says, for more announcements, click here, and maybe that page goes under either parents or wherever you want to put it, and there you have all of your announcements. What you don't want is for this area to get very busy where your announcements just get lost because there's too much text. With that said, announcements should be short. If you insist on having an image, make it small, but this is a perfect example of an announcement. Congratulations to teacher. No picture really needed, and it's just her name. This is another announcement. So links should go here, not on your welcome text, because this is just talking about your school, but they can definitely go as an announcement. Now, even though these are links, you can choose to either put them as an announcement, or what I would personally prefer is if you have them under your quick links. Notice how here these are quick links that are only relative to your school. We have district links, but these are going to be created by us. Quick links, these are yours. So you can always have as many links as you want here, and they don't always have to be to an external page. They can go to other pages within your school site. But please do not link to anything from the current website, district site, because that district site will change. And like you saw, we have a new, this will be our new template. It's still not completely done, but this will be our new template for the district site. So do not link to anything from the old site because those links will be broken once we move to the new one. So make sure that your quick links are related to your school or to maybe a Google site, anywhere that you would find relevant for your school to have quick links. So again, just a quick overview. Make sure that you keep your calendar updated so they can show here. Make sure that you only have a small text because I saw many schools that had an entire page's worth of for a welcome message, and quite honestly, most people do not scroll down, and it's just too overwhelming. You can always put more information about your school or about your principal under About Us. So these, you can create as many sections as you want, plus you want parents to navigate your website. You don't want to have everything on your front page because that's not what we're doing. So make sure that you do that. If you're going to have an image, make sure that you make it into a small image. Otherwise, what's the point of having a slideshow? The slideshow, you can have captions to your slideshow. So for those of you that either are familiar with Paint or Photoshop, you can always have a message here. Announcements, you want to keep those short and you want to make sure that they expire. Otherwise, I've seen schools that have up to 20 here, and that does not look good either. So you want to just keep the traffic on your front page, easy and clean and just pretty much easy to navigate for parents. And then quick links. So those are some of the expectations for that front page. Remember that all content is live, so you do not have to wait a day or so for it to be posted. As soon as you click on save, it's live. So what you might want to do is maybe meet with your principal often, whether it's once a week, once a month, whenever that is, so that they can give you more direction as to what the expectations are for content on their page. Um, Bringing that up because I've been getting emails, and sometimes people ask me, what should I put under parents, under about us? These are some of the generic ones that we created for you. But you should feel free to add as much as you want, and for that I feel that maybe your principal would be the best person to head you in that direction as to what she wants as far as content on her website. Any questions today in regards to the training, I will answer towards the end of the session. However, if you have specific issues, concerns, or questions about your site, feel free to send me a private email because these sessions are recorded, so everybody can see what you're typing. And on top of that, people that watch it later on, you might not want them to read your comments. So just make sure that you send me a private email if you're having issues with something or concerns. So now we're getting ready to start. And notice how the drop down also changed. So you have popular links, which should go to your calendar, school map, e-news, careers, webmail, grade portal. One more thing that I wanted to point out is only inside the district network we are having issues with IE7. It's not anything to do with school wires. What it is, it's pretty much that IE7 here in the district has a compatibility mode that automatically, brings any IE Internet Explorer to IE7, which school wires is usually it's used to working with IE10 or anything that's more new than just IE7. So it's not that your website's broken or that you're missing content. It's just that IE7, the compatibility mode is just not compatible with your new template. Parents don't have this problem because from home it works just fine. It's just something within the network. So you just unfortunately have to either manually fix that or just use Firefox, which is the one browser that I definitely recommend, or Safari. Just anything is usually better than IE7. So with that said, we're going to start here with the homepage. And I'm sure most of you noticed that the homepage has those apps that I've sent you emails about that were ordered here by us. This section here in the future will be open for you too as well, so that you can add different apps. However, for now, we would only want to see these on your front page. Remember, the front page, we're trying to keep them to look similar to all the schools. You can always add more to the different pages or sections, but the front page should always look like this. Please do not delete my apps or change the order or add more, because as you can see, it's the template's a specific size or width for each one of the sections. So that this is a decision that was made, and this is what we agreed upon that every front page should look like. The main focus, however, should be more on content. So not necessarily on the design, on which one this looks better here. Just make sure that you leave them in the same order. So once, and then if by accident you delete one, just please let me know so that I can fix it as soon as possible, because otherwise someone else will send me an email and say, oh, did you notice that so-and-so school doesn't have that? So just make sure that you contact me if you delete an app by accident. Now, since we're in the apps, we're going to start with the images. Notice how every single one of the schools should have this exact same gallery. And for the most part, for those of you that did not have pictures, we added the sample pictures for you, but you can definitely change them if whenever you have yours ready. To do that, we're going to work with another school today that I know has all my sample pictures. So Seabreeze Elementary, again, has the same gallery. So you click on it once, and these are all my sample pictures. Why? I just figured that it'd be nicer for them, for it to show more than just the one picture that said "come back soon." So since we are here, I'm going to go ahead and delete them all to show you how the process works from scratch. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete, delete. So all you would have to do to add new pictures would be clicking on, and make sure before we start that all of your pictures are resized to 960 width by 470 height prior to being uploaded. For those of you that want to add a message to your picture, or maybe those of you that are more familiar with Photoshop, make sure that those photos are already, they added the message before you upload them, because once you upload them here, you can't change that part. So you would go ahead and click on Upload Photos, Browse. And by the way, if you click on Shift, it can select more than one, so you can upload multiple pictures at a time. And then you would click on Upload. Okay, so once you have all your pictures here, I just wanted to point out too that you can always click on, there's two things. Let's do Adjust Photo first. So when you adjust an image, you have different tools and you can always test with those. But if you just want to make sure that the size is correct, you would click on Adjustment, and then you would click on Resize. Now, if you leave this just as it is, checked, what it's going to do is it by default, it sizes it up to 960 width because this is the gallery width that you have. So it'll always try to size them up to 960 no matter what. However, it just by default does, it tries to do it for you automatically. So 644. If you want to be very specific and detailed, all you have to do is you uncheck key proportions, and you can change the number here. Once you change the number there, all you do is click on Apply, and then you would click on Save. This is optional to give it a name. You're the only one that will see the name, and then you would click on Save again. So now your picture's there. That's one option. Another tool that I've seen that can benefit you too is if you click on Edit, you can give your photo a title as well as adding a caption. Web address. This is in case if you want to have a picture that when you click on it, it takes you to maybe a Google site or another page. This is where you would add that. Target. It just tells you if you wanted to open in the same window or in a different one. And then you would click on Save. When you're done editing and adjusting all your photos and the size, you would go ahead and again, you can always sort photos too. So if you click on Sort Photos alphabetically, or maybe you just want a different order. So then you just click on Save, so the order changes. And the last step is to click on Publish. It asks you again, if you want to publish it, you have to do yes, otherwise you will not see your new photo gallery. And then you can always remember, click on View Website to see what the end result will look like. Now this is another school. Notice how they have upcoming events. They made the logo small. And then since we're talking about logo too, I wanted to point out that we are still working on the logos. Expect it maybe for the next few weeks. Once your logo is done, you will see it on your website because we will be uploading your logo for you. So once we upload it, you might not want to have it in two different places because we're still on the same page. So that's just about the logos. So moving on here, back to our homepage. The next one that I wanted to mention, that I actually mentioned earlier, would be quick links. So I'm just going to add a test quick link. Remember, everything that you do here is live. So make sure that if you have a test page, a test link, make sure that you delete that when you're done. So you would click on New Link. link text, I'm going to say test, address, target would be if you want it on the same window. Tooltip, you don't have to worry about that. Parent link, none. Auto expand, it does that for you by default. And then you'd click on save. So notice how you have a link called test. And if you click on active, it'll deactivate the link. If you click on inactive, it's there. Oh, one more time. Okay, there we go. And you can add as many as you want. But when you have multiple ones, you do want to check that auto expand so that it's, they're not all by default expanded. To see this, all you have to do is you click on view website. And mine's a little slow today, but there you go. So see my test link now, it's under quick links. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. So this is important for those of you that have an external site or another PTA page or whatever URL you currently want parents to see, or even pages within sections under parents, under the parents channel. This would be a good way to put them because that's a quick link to those pages. But if you don't want it, then all you have to do is you click on delete and you click on delete again. So we're going to go back to our home page. Because remember, everything's done through your homepage tab, which you can get to once you click on the cloud. So we'll do it from scratch. Click on the cloud next to your school name, and then you would click on homepage, and it brings you here. District links, anytime you see that an app is shared, that means that that one's created by us. So you do not need to delete the app, and then we will continue to add more links to our district links app. The next one is announcements. So when you're in announcements, and notice how he has one announcement here. You want to make sure that you only keep, I would say maybe up to 4 at a time. You can have less than that. You could have 1, but no more than 4 because that area starts getting very busy, and then also, your other announcements get lost. So what you want to do is you click on new announcement. Notice how it says this title will display in some areas. So some areas you'll see the title and some you won't. And if it doesn't show the title, then you just want to make sure that you duplicate the same title on the text. So I'll say test. And just so that you see what it looks like, I'll type in test there too. Now, many of you will be tempted to add another app that has a link to another page, kind of like a quick links app. But notice that you can do that here too with announcements. So there's no need to, again, delete or add any more apps than what you already have on your homepage, because the Flex editor can pretty much do it all for you. If you would like for this to be a link, all you have to do, so let's just say that this is a link to a Google site. All you would have to do is add you highlight the word test, and then you click on the insert link. Notice how you have different options. This could be an email address. This could be your own site. Let's just pretend that this is your own site. To choose your own site, you click here where it says choose a site. And we are in, select the site here. And then choose a channel. So maybe they have something under About Us. And choose a section, Principals page. So there's no need for you to have the entire text on the front page when you can just have a link to it. And it says choose a page. The only page that's under the Principals page section is Principals page currently. So then we're going to do insert link. So there you go. You have a link to one of your own pages on the front page. But what if you want to have a link to an outside page? All you have to do is, let's highlight this again, and then we click on this icon here, which is the insert link. Now I want to click on web address, and then I'm going to just do Google for now. Target, again, it's optional, and then you would click on insert link. So now not only do you have an internal link, you also have an external link that takes you to another page. What if you want to add an image? Usually announcements shouldn't have an image because remember you already have that slideshow going on, and too many icons or images just distracts um, from the main one. So, but if you still want to have a small image, I would recommend thumb size, and then we can just do either clip art or an existing image. So let's just do shared image. Oh, clip art. Remember, you want it to be small. I would recommend that you leave alignment as default because otherwise you still have to move it around and it won't let you. So that's huge. You do not want to have an announcement with that big of a picture. So what you do is, oh, there we go. If you double click on it, it should let you change the proportions, and I'm just guessing here. So it's still pretty big. So let's just do one more. I don't know. I want to say maybe 60. There we go. So see, now it's small. I mean, it doesn't have to be this tiny. You can always make it a little bit bigger. But just so you know, this makes a big difference once you save it. So let's go ahead and save this announcement. Also, before I close the announcement, I want to point out display duration. You want to make sure that it has a start date, and it started today at 1 a.m. But you really want to make sure that it has an end date. Otherwise, it will always stay there, or you'll have to manually deactivate it. But if you don't, then you can technically just say, I want it up to, I don't know, 7 p.m., and it'll automatically disappear. But you always want to make sure that you have that option. So when we go to view website, notice how I have my test announcement on top of their other announcements. So let's go ahead and make sure that we delete that. And all you do is delete, and yes. So again, make sure that you give it an expiration date so that you do not have a long list of announcements here or on your front page mainly. Actually, you can have as many as you want here, but you do not want to see them, 10 of them or more on the front page. The front page should have maybe 4 announcements. And remember, you can create a page under About Us called, so that when they click on more, they can see the rest of the announcements. If you want to have them stored in another section, you can do that, but you just don't want to have them all here. So that was for announcements. So moving on to the welcome message. So notice how this is again, a Flex Editor page, and these are the ones that I recommend using. It has all the same tools that we used. You want to make sure that the font for the welcome message, that it's small. I don't want to see let me give you a big example, like heading 1 or heading 2, and then an entire story about your principal, because remember that information can go under principal's page, which is under About Us. This should be short and simple, and maybe a logo, because I understand that right now you don't have your logo on your school site, and I know we are working on it. So I could see where you want to put it on the page somewhere. If you want to do that, again, a small image, because once we are done with your logo, you'll have a pretty big size logo, and it'll go right there at the upper left corner of your site, and it will blend in with the rest of the colors. So for now, just keep something small and simple on that welcome message. But yes, we do not want to see, long paragraph short, or I've seen some schools that had the entire information about the Microsoft Office software. That does not go on your welcome message. That can go in a page under one of the sections, or there could be an announcement that says, click here for more information for Microsoft. And that link takes you to a page, but it does not go here. Teacher of the Year does not go on the welcome message. Again, this is just a welcome to your school, and the same message should stay there for a while. You do not even need to change this message. So it's not like announcements or quick links where those will change. Welcome should just stay small and simple. And then you just click on save whenever you make your changes. So moving back to the home page. So we covered welcome and announcements and quick links. Now I want to show you a new tool. This is actually the video that you see on your front page. Let me show you what it looks like on the back end. So literally on the back end is just it is just code that YouTube gives you when a video has the sharing tool enabled. And again, I can show you a detailed way on how to do this process if you contact me and you have a specific one, or I will probably post a video on specifically on just how to do an embed code for YouTube. The reason why I don't encourage you to just go ahead and do it yourselves is because you have to have a specific width and height because of the area where the video is currently located. So again, make sure that you contact me if you want to switch to yours, because otherwise it fits the specific size. If it's bigger than this area, then it could take over your other section. So you just want to make sure that you contact me before you do anything with the video. And then moving down to upcoming events. So upcoming events, these are events displayed directly from your calendar. So if you have no events on your calendar, there's not going to be anything on that on this area here. And I will show you, and notice how it says view full calendar for the rest. So again, this is being pulled from your calendar. And I will show you how to add calendar events. To do that, we will go back to where we started, which is we click on that cloud, and we're going to go ahead and click on the calendar. So you would always click on new event, and you would give your event a title. So I'm just going to call mine test. Usually by default, it has today's start date. So you want to make sure that you double check that in case you want to make an event that's going to happen tomorrow or next week. Start time. So start time, if you have a start time, this is where you would choose it. If you don't, then you would check all day. So that way they only see the title. If you do have a start time, but you do not have an end time, you would check no end time. But if you do, all you have to do is just make sure that you have the end time here. So I'm just going to do mine all day. This is optional. This is just to add text, and notice it has the same thing as your Flex Editor app, which will make sense because we will test with one of them. So now this is another one that I wanted to show you. So college visit, we created these labels for you. These are just by default. We can always add more, but this is just optional if you want to give it a different color so that it stands out with all your other events. So I'm just going to click on important events, and then I'm going to click on save. So notice how now I have a test event on my calendar. Now, in order for it to be displayed on the front page, it's not here. Well, actually it is here. We are trying to keep up to maybe 7 events here. The rest of them, they would have to click on view full calendar. Why? Because if you have more than 7, remember when I mentioned that most people do not scroll down, so they'll just get lost within the front page. So you just want to make sure that you just stay at 7, and again, the most recent one's always going to go there. So that's how we do a calendar event, and if you hover over it, you can just delete it from there, or you can click on it. But I'm just going to go ahead and delete it here because everything's live right now, and I don't want that school to start noticing my test pages. So pretty much we've covered the front page and your current apps, and we've covered the fact that we do not want you to add or delete any of the current apps or even move the order, because once you change the order, this looks completely different. So just make sure that you just keep it exactly the way that it is. You can make it your own by getting your own pictures, adding your own content, but just do not rearrange the order of the apps. We will continue to do audits, and I will notice if you change the order, and we'll just change it right back to how it was. But that takes a lot of time, so just please make sure that you leave them the way they are. So going back to our original topics with channels and sections, so notice how all of you should have the same channels. So channels, again, you cannot rename or delete, but you can add as many sections and pages as you want. Today we're going to create a page under Contact Us. So this is to create a page. First, you have to create a section. So we're going to create a new section called test. When you click on menu name, it automatically gives it the same name. And I understand some of you have noticed that there's different configurations in the sections, but please just stick to blank section for now until we've all moved on to more training sessions, and then I can show you more tools. All you have to do then is click on save. Once you click on save, you still have to create a page. Otherwise, you will get that message that says error or that white screen. So you want to make sure that you create a page. To do that, you click on test. And once you've clicked on test, you click on new page. And again, this is another example. Yes, there are different options and page types that we've created, but for the time being, we only want you to use two. And I will explain what that second one is. But right now we're going to work with Flex Page Default. And I'm going to name my page Test 1. Again, this works just like the announcements. You can make your page inactive or active, but this should only be temporarily while you finish building the content on that page, because people could still click on it and you'll still get that white screen. So make sure that you finish your page if you make it inactive. So we would click on the title, and this is where you would add your text. And you click on save. So it's a Flex editor, works the same in announcements, on your welcome message, anywhere that you see that Flex editor, it's the same tools. So we're going to go back to the page. Oh, so I'm sorry, contact us test. So this contact us test section has a page that I created that has a Flex editor. But I know many of you maybe want to create a page that only has documents. So that way you don't have to go through that whole linking to a document, linking to another thing. You maybe just want to have a page that just lists several documents. This is what you would do. You would click on new page. And then the one that, the only other app that we recommend for now is, where did I see that? File library page default. So notice how these two sound very similar. So file library page would be the one if you only want to list documents or newsletters or anything for that matter. So you would click on file library page, and I'm going to name this one test-2 or 3, and then you would click on save. So now we have a page that is just to add documents. We're going to see what that looks like. So you would click on the title, and it brings you here. So it's very similar to when you're adding links or announcements, where it just asks you, it skips that other step where you add text, and this is just to upload the documents. So you would click on new file, give it a title, description is optional, but you do have to click on select file in order for you to upload your document. And we do prefer PDFs because Word documents, not everybody has the same, not everyone has the same one, the same format. So you want to make sure that it is, oh, didn't let me, that it's a PDF. Okay. Let's just choose this one. Okay. There we go. Rename your file. Okay, I don't know why it's not letting me, but it should let you guys add it without editing it without a problem. So let me click on save. Okay. Oh, I guess it didn't. So new file, test4, and I'm gonna add another one. So sometimes I guess if you're using Safari, you'll get that message that I'm getting, but this usually doesn't happen with Firefox. So now if we go back to see how that looks like, just to show you what the final product will look like. I don't know when it's under, but it would list the documents there. But that is the app that you want to use for for your documents if you just have a list of documents. Otherwise, what you want to show, it's just your regular page, which is an average. This is a test page. And that's just the Flex editor. And the other one, oh, there we go. I think it showed it for a second there. Yeah, it's something with the browser. So anyways, this shouldn't happen when you view the file. So to go ahead and delete that, we are going to contact us, and I could individually choose to delete both pages, or I could just delete the entire section. So for those of you that have several pages under a section, you can delete them manually if you just want to delete a page, or you can just delete the entire section completely. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the entire section. And it usually asks you to do it again. So that's in regards to browsers, I definitely prefer using Firefox because I've noticed that with IE or even like you just saw Safari, sometimes you might run into things that don't look the same once you click on save, and then you might think that your content's not there, but it is there. So just use Firefox when you can. So that's it for the home page. So just to review, we showed you how to change your own pictures, quick links, announcements, welcome, video, contact me if you want to replace the one that is currently there, and upcoming events comes from your calendar. I do recommend using those two page types, which is Flex Editor and the other ones for documents and files, but we prefer PDFs. Otherwise, things look a little bit weird. Also, I wanted to point out, if you would like to add someone else to have access to another section, I would need your principal's approval. So I would need an email sent from your principal. They can copy you, stating, for instance, Jane Jones needs access to a section under parents, which is, so for instance, Jane Jones, her email address, and section PTA. It is very important that I receive their email address, because if I go to Outlook and look for it under address book, I might get a different person. So just to make sure that I have the correct person, please make sure that you mention to your principal that I need first and last name, as well as their email address and the section for it. I will continue to show you more tools as I keep noticing that everybody has at least the basic content on the front page. I will start showing you more tools and what you can do, and maybe the layout of your page. It doesn't always have to be one column, but for now, I know some of you are like, well, she's been saying the same. She's been covering the same topics in all these sessions. The reason for that is just to make sure that you guys are super comfortable with using the current apps that you have right now on your front page. So once I notice that we're making progress there, then I'll definitely show you more tools and more features that you can use on your school website. So also, I wanted to leave this last few minutes for those of you that have questions specifically about this training process. Feel free to send me a message here, and I will answer them as I receive them. So feel free to ask any questions that you have about the current process. If you don't have questions about the current process, remember these sessions are recorded, and I will upload them onto YouTube if you want to share it with whether it's a principal or another section editor that might be helping you on your site. There will be another session tomorrow, about the same time tomorrow. And so starting next week, we are, like I said, there are audits that are being made currently. But starting next week, it would be every Wednesday, and I will try to show you a new feature or a new tool every Wednesday. So make sure that you check that, or you can always check that on your, at your own time. You can just see my YouTube channel. Speaking of which, the YouTube channel is here, and I will just copy and paste that link here on the message to display for those of you that want to see it at your own time. Also, make sure you do not link anything to the current district site, because those links will change once we go live. As a reminder, it's the same URL to log in, but site manager can be found at the bottom of the page. Okay, to use the caption piece, there is something that you can do for that caption piece. It's here actually. So we would go to the school and we would go to settings. We would go to advanced, and this is just to change to make sure that that feature is turned on. Now, do not change the colors or anything else because we had specific hex code for those colors. If you are not satisfied with your colors, please contact me and I can change them for you. But I would definitely need that hex code color. For the caption, though, you would click on template options and check this option here where it says show photo titles and captions. Once you check that, then you would click on save and preview and publish and exit. But I'm not going to do that because this person does not have captions, so I don't want to do that. But you would do save and preview and publish and exit for those of you that want to do that process. If not, uncheck that, save and preview, publish and exit. Let me just do this. I'm done. So that would that helps if you want to add that caption to your pictures, if that answers your question. What I would recommend too, though, is if I know not everybody has Photoshop, but maybe on Paint, you can always add a message if you want your slideshow to be more of a banner, kind of like the district currently has, or if there's a special event, the picture has a banner to it, and then you can click on it and it takes you to a page. So you can always do that too prior to uploading those pictures. Flex pages. How do I add flex pages? I already created back on the website. Okay, so to add a flex page, for instance, if I go to parents, to add a flex page, remember you always have to have a section created. So, for instance, maybe a PTA, which is a section, was created, and you just wanted to add an additional page. Then you would go to new page, and you want flex page default. You would give it a title. You click on save, and then you click on the title again, and then you answer you type in this is a test. And if you want to see what it looks like, all you have to do is you click on view website, and it's there. Oh, there we go. Because I did it under the same section, but it's there. So see, this is a test. The section is PTA. PTA already had a page, and I just added a new page called test. But you can always add a new section altogether. And then remember what I told you, that you always just need to make sure that you, delete the page. So PTA, if I go there, so remember my test 1 is there. You go to actions. If you want to delete or edit the page, you just click on delete and you delete it. So if that answers your question. Anyone else with any questions? I'll probably give you guys about a few seconds here or more. If you come up with the questions as soon as we're done, feel free to send me an email and I will reply to you as soon as possible. If I take too long sometimes, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's just because I have 160 something schools to reply to all at once. The only other thing, like I said, if you do need someone to have access, make sure that you get that your principal sends me that email. And also, just so you know, the only thing that we do not want you to delete either are these two: faculty staff, school staff directory, and district staff directory. We manage this part. If for whatever reason there is someone under school staff directory who is not supposed to be there, this list, just so you know, is created on a software called Genesis, and I was told that there's someone in each building who manually either types in the staff's name or they can remove names from there. Then this list goes to IT and IT sends it to me, and I do this upload once a week. So if there's a name that's wrong here, even if I were to manually delete it from here, it'll keep showing up every week because it's still wrong on Genesis. So you need to make sure that you correct the names on Genesis first before so that it's correct on your website. So just make sure that you ask either maybe your admin or someone in your building about Genesis to correct those names on the staff, because we've been getting a lot of those, and like I said, unfortunately I can't manually delete them because they will continue to show up as long as they're still wrong on Genesis. If other than that, is there a way to change the way the slideshow starts over? Unfortunately, I would have to research on that, but as far as I know, there isn't. There's a way to make it maybe slower, but not necessarily the way it slides. That's just in the code, and unfortunately, that's just how the way this template is. But I think the more, maybe if you have, on that note, I would recommend having at least maybe 5 pictures, maybe top 6, and then changing them ever so often, because the more pictures you have, the longer the slideshow takes. So you just want to make sure that maybe you have, pictures for Christmas or pictures for that you continue to change those pictures. It doesn't have to be the same ones all the time. But no, unfortunately, that's just how the slideshow works. Other than that, if there aren't any other questions, thank you all for coming to the training. If you have any questions, you can contact me, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks.